Good evening and salutations, my GH fans. I gotta talk about Amy for a minute. I gotta talk about Amy for a minute. I don't know why is it every time I see this woman, every time I see her on the show, I know I'm gonna get annoyed. I know I'm genuinely gonna get annoyed. It's very rare when I'm not annoyed. And so she tells Britt that she's not feeling good. She finished up around. She pretty much finished all the work, and she wants to leave because she's not feeling good. And so Britt is like, "Oh, okay, all right, you can leave." Um, so she leaves and she goes to the nail salon and runs into Terry. And Terry's like, aren't you supposed to be at work? Now she makes up some sort of BS about why she's not there. But then, she decides she wants to go and hang out. Um, she doesn't want to really be a part of that crowd or whatever because Liz is like, why don't you come and hang out or whatever and just kind of chill with us? Which is like, no, 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 I'm good or whatever. And next thing you know, Amy decides to get an attitude with her talking about why you sit there pressing me and being all up in my business. And I'm like, sweetheart, you do realize that you ditch work to go get your nails done. And she's your boss. So of course she's gonna have concerns and things to say about why you're out there doing what you're doing. I The thing is, I don't expect grown ass adults to sit there and act like this. I expect maybe a teenager, somebody a little bit younger, but this woman is like in her mid 30s at the very least, and she has the audacity to sit there and get a hissy fit with Terry about the fact that she's questioning her about ditching work. So, she's all like, we lost a patient and, I just wasn't really in a good headspace and, so I decided to leave. Now, my whole thing is that if she would have acted like an adult for like 5 minutes and told her that, then Terry would have had a different energy, moving forward with her. But instead, she decides to sit there and get into this attitude and then tell her afterwards. And it's like, oh, well, I'm just going to sit there and report you to the board and this, that, and the third. And I'm just like, girl, if you don't take your ass on somewhere else, and, more likely that, this is pretty much the terrorist thing that they're saying. She was like, yo, listen, I didn't need you coming over here messing up my 1 day off. So she goes back over there, she gets her nails done or whatever the hell she does. And I mean, it wasn't enough to sit there and distract Liz, so that's good. But later on in this episode, she runs to Chad and starts complaining like this 12-year-old little girl. And Chad is like, I'm pretty sure he just kind of blows inside proportion. Like, you could sit there and talk to her. But, clearly with Amy, if decide to try to talk to her like an adult and try to reason with her, then obviously you're against her. I do not understand the point of this character. I really, really don't. Um, I just don't really feel like she brings a lot of value to this show. I mean, yeah, first of all, she was there when Kristen Storm left to do stuff that I'm not even too sure. So they had to give Nathan the storyline. They gave him the whole Ass Man Lander thing, and that was great. I actually enjoyed that. And then, she was there to kind of expose Brooke, like more or less, Brooklyn. She was there to morally, kind of expose Brooklyn as far as like, being her dub singer. Then they found that Brooklyn wasn't really singing, it was Amy. So I understand parts like that, the nurse's ball because Amy can sing. So I understand they're using her for things like that, when she's not there treating patients. But when, stuff like this happens, it's just like, where is this going? Because to be honest, the only thing that you come across is just annoying. And it's not like I sit there the day before I watch or a couple hours before I watch, I'm just like, man, I can't wait to sit there and be super negative. It's just like, no, you have characters like this that bring very little to nothing to the table, and it's just there to, like, I don't even know what the hell she's there for, to be honest. I really don't. Um, the whole stuff with TJ and Britt, it was nice because, TJ lost his first patient, and, Britt is they kind of helping him. I want to sit there and say getting over it, but more navigating his feelings and trying to find some sort of outlet, something that he can do outside of the hospital. Because what she basically said was, you can't be a robot, but you can't be super emotional. You got to sit there and kind of find your own balance. In order to do that, you got to sit there and find things that you enjoy outside the hospital. Long story short, she even told him, like, yo, listen, if you want to go home and be with Molly and do the stuff that y'all do, then that's cool. Um, I guess what makes what Brit is doing in this episode so interesting is because years before, when she was super obsessed with Patrick Drake, they called her the Brit for a reason. You know, so seeing this softer, kinder, and more human side is very interesting. Now, again, I wasn't there for that. Um, I only saw it like in spurts and the stuff that I did see. I was like, ugh, I don't really like you. Um, so it's an interesting side seeing, um, seeing her. Other than that, TJ really didn't bring much to the table. Sometimes I do wish they would give him more to do than just being like whatever that is that they have him doing most of the times. Because it's like, okay. I mean, the thing is, TJ's not a terrible character, and I feel like with the right storyline, you can make him interesting. But I mean, apparently they got to sit there and leave all the interesting stuff to Sonny and Carly and the Corentos. So Sonny was sitting there talking to Dante, and Dante just wants to sit there and check up on that. Well, first, he has some news to sit there and deliver to Sonny. As far as Harmony being dead, her attacking Alexis and Carly. And the one thing that Sonny was disappointed in was the fact that no one called him. No one called him to sit there and be like, hey, listen, I was attacked, but I'm okay. I just want you to know. And he was disappointed and hurt. And to be honest, I actually understood where he was coming from. Regardless if their marriage is dissolving, whatever, they're divorced, at the end of the day, you still have respect for each other. You still have love for each other. You share kids together. You had a life together. And I get that, Dante was like, well, with everything going on, maybe they just kind of sort of forgot. And it was like, no. Because she had hours after as far as recovery time and waiting with, Willow with Harmony and stuff like that. And no one bothered to sit there and call him. Now, Alexis, okay, fine. I mean, to be honest, I guess he should somewhat be kind of upset with her too because, they do share a daughter together. But, I understood where he was coming from. Now, Chad came back from his mission of giving supplies and things of that nature to vets and things. So he's back, and the other guy that was, I guess, running a gym, well, he's really no longer needed. So, Dex, that's his name, yeah, Dex was not there, more or less kind of pleading with Sonny, like, hey, listen, I can sit there and do this, I can do that, whatever you need, I'm here. And, Sonny more or less was like, nah, we kind of booked right now, we good. So Sonny decides to, step to the side, to make a call. Chad was sitting there talking to his annoying ass sister, and there was two people that were in the ring that were fighting. Apparently, it got out of hand, and Dex stepped up and kind of squashed, kind of stopped the whole fight thing. Sonny, after making a call to Carly, saw that and was like, right then and there, he was impressed. And by the end of the episode, he was like, listen, why don't you come back after hours and, we'll sit there and talk about, give you some sort of job. At this point, we all know what that job is going to be. The question is he going to sit there and say yes? Now, from the stuff that my subscribers just they're telling me, he's going to be, new character and I guess somewhat important. So I'm assuming he's going to sit there and take the job. So, question: is it Star Wars Day or something that I missed? Because today's the 5th, and they kept saying, "May the 4th be with you." So maybe this is due to the fact that news interruptions and dates being moved forward or whatever. Maybe yesterday was Star Wars Day. I like Star Wars. I'm not a huge fan, but I like it. Maybe not more than Star Trek, but I like it. Anyway, the reason I'm sitting there talking about this is because Brooklyn was talking to Carly for a little bit, left outside, went to talk to Chase, and Chase was like, well, I'm kind of busy doing something or whatever. And he was more or less just like, bye. And what I didn't understand is why didn't he sit there and tell Chase? I mean, why didn't he sit there and tell Brooklyn what he was doing? The fact that he was babysitting Violet. I didn't really understand that at all. So anyway, he's sitting up there, he's with Violet, and Violet and him are sitting there, doing tea time and stuff like that. And Brooklyn, because she wanted a distraction, she wanted to sit there and do something fun after given everything that was going on. And so she decides to come over his place with 2 lightsabers. And I thought that was pretty funny. She came over there, and when Chase opened the door, he had the tiara on his head or whatever, so it was hilarious. And they wound up pretty much kind of spending the day together, doing tea time with Violet and, talking about her music as far as writing and stuff like that. So to be honest, I actually thought that was probably the best part in this episode. Violet is just, she's always cute. So every time she's there, it's just, you know, it's just always fun to watch. Um, Now, I want to then kind of dip back to Liz and Terry for a minute because, Terry's is more or less getting caught up on everything that was going on with Liz as far as the stalker and, being in a hotel and everything like that. So afterwards, when Liz, I guess, got dropped off to work, she wanted to call on the medium that, Lucy suggested. Because when she was sitting there talking about, a lot of people sitting there saying it's ghost or whatever, and she kind of felt like it was a ghost. Terry's like, I don't really know about that. Being a woman of science is, it's not really her thing. And to be honest, it's not Liz's thing either, but at this point, and she's just willing to try anything at this point. So I guess maybe tomorrow we'll sit there and see about this psychic or whatever. Now, Michael's sitting there talking to Carly about trying to protect Willow, this, that, and the third. Dante comes over and, he pretty much kind of gives Willow the news as far as, the possible motive of what, Harmony was sitting there doing. And pretty much told her that she killed Brendan and that she killed Neil. And, at first Willow was like, oh, she turned her life around. I don't believe it at first. And it was like, really? Like all the things that Harmony's done, and you're sitting there like you're having doubts and you're questioning what he's saying. Like whatever, I get it. She's in shock. So, and long story short, Dante tells her that Willow isn't her biological mother. Now, of course, the whole time while that's going on, Carly's sitting there thinking about the talk with Harmony, and about keeping the secret and everything like that, and clearly she's not going to sit there and say anything, but with that being said, with Harmony not being her mother, at some point, she's going to want answers. She's going to want to sit there and try to figure out who her birth mother is. And you see in the next episode, as far as the previews, she's sitting there questioning Carly, like, yo, like, what else do you know, whatever. But at this point, we all know that Carly's not going to say anything. It's going to be exposed. Michael's going to sit there and be upset with Carly. we all see it coming. It's just a matter of when. Yeah, I feel like that's about it. I don't know about these episodes this week. I mean, for the past couple of days, and just looking at this episode, it wasn't terrible. Okay, I could have probably did it without the TJ and Brit stuff. Um, Amy was annoying as hell. The Carly stuff with Willow and Michael was interesting. The stuff with Violet, Chase, and Brooklyn was interesting. Well, it was cute. It was somewhat interesting, but it was more cute than anything else. And it was just a nice moment. It wasn't too serious, so it worked. The Liz and the Liz stuff is like I don't know about that story. I know a lot of people were just like, they pretty much kind of given up on the whole Marshall thing, and we're gonna find out more about that with Curtis talking to Jordan, probably about the police report that he got using very questionable methods. But I don't know. It wasn't exactly a great episode, but it wasn't a terrible episode either. So anyway, with that being said, I'm gonna go. I want to thank you for watching. Be safe. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section below, and I'll see you in the next video.